All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're going to explore the absolutely fascinating neurobiology behind why our teenagers desperately need unstructured downtime to thrive. We often think of play as something kids just outgrow, but the science actually tells a completely different story. Today, we're looking at the remarkable ways a teenager's brain is still under construction, and specifically why unstructured free play is literally the most critical tool they have for building real-world empathy. So we're going to break this down into 5 quick steps. The teen scheduling trap, inside the teen brain, free play and empathy, resolving conflicts naturally, and finally, protecting unstructured downtime. Starting right off with section 1, the teen scheduling trap and our overbooked teens. To really set the stage, let's look at this modern trap of overscheduling. It's driving so much anxiety for both parents and teens right now. I want you to do a quick mental audit of your teen's week and ask yourself a pretty crucial question. How many truly unscheduled hours do they have? I'm not talking about sports practice or tutoring or structured clubs. I mean entirely open, totally unguided blocks of time. For a lot of modern families, that number is surprisingly close to 0. We've kind of been culturally conditioned to view any open time as a missed opportunity for achievement, right? But here's the catch. When a calendar is just overloaded with back-to-back structured activities, it completely blocks the brain from practicing independent decision-making. Think about it. An adult is always telling the teen what to do, where to stand, and what the rules are. They're just following a GPS. But a balanced schedule, one with protected blocks of open, free time, that is where the real cognitive magic happens, because the teen is suddenly forced to figure things out for themselves. Moving right along to section 2, inside the teen brain. Specifically, the neuroscience of play. First up, meet the prefrontal cortex. You can think of the prefrontal cortex as the brain's ultimate control room. It handles the high-level stuff, planning, impulse control, and crucially for us today, empathy. Now here is the wild part. This control room, it doesn't actually fully mature until a person reaches their mid-20s. Since it's still an active construction zone during the teen years, they need the exact right environment to build it properly. And a huge part of that construction process is driven by something called pruning. Synaptic pruning is essentially a use-it-or-lose-it biological process. Imagine a gardener trimming away dead branches so the healthy ones can grow stronger. The brain strengthens the neural pathways that get used frequently and literally lets go of the ones that don't. So self-directed decisions and social negotiations during unstructured play actively strengthen these executive function circuits. But just being told what to do by adults all day, that doesn't trigger the same growth. If they aren't practicing empathy and self-regulation on their own, those crucial pathways can literally get pruned away. Which brings us to the default mode network, or the DMN. You know when your teen is just staring out a window, or daydreaming, or loudly complaining they have nothing to do? That is the DMN activating. It's the brain's background creativity engine, and it only switches on during boredom or unstructured downtime. When it does, it massively boosts creativity, helps them figure out their self-identity, and aids in deep emotional processing. Doing nothing is actually when this genius background engine fires up to do its best work. So we really need to fundamentally flip our mindset here. Boredom is not the enemy. It is the essential fuel for creativity. It is absolutely not a problem that you, as a parent or caregiver, need to immediately jump in and solve with a screen or a new activity. It is a biological necessity. Which leads us perfectly into section 3, free play and empathy. Or, as I like to call it, the empathy lab. This is the absolute core of our explainer today, how unstructured play serves as a vital empathy lab. Let's talk about mirror neurons. These are highly specialized brain cells that literally help us feel what other people feel. They are the biological foundation of empathy. And here's why free play is so incredibly essential. Every single time teens are forced to navigate unstructured social play, say they're making up a game in the backyard or just tinkering in the garage with friends, they have to negotiate the rules themselves. They have to read subtle social cues. They have to manage small disappointments without an adult refereeing the whole thing. When they do all of this completely unsupervised, those mirror neurons fire actively, literally wiring their brains for deep, real-world empathy. Jumping into section 4, resolving conflicts naturally. Let them solve it. So in this empathy lab of free play, conflict is 100% inevitable. Someone is going to change the rules, someone is going to feel slighted. But how it gets resolved changes the brain. In an adult solves-it scenario, swooping in to mediate every minor dispute actually robs teens of the exact practice their mirror neurons desperately need. But in a teen solves-it scenario, Letting them awkwardly walk away and figure it out themselves creates a massive problem-solving advantage. Research consistently shows that kids who navigate these hurdles through free play develop much more flexible, real-world problem-solving skills. Okay, so how do we actually pull that off? Try using these 3 simple step-back strategies next time your teen faces a minor peer conflict. Number 1, pause before intervening. Literally just wait a few extra seconds. Often, they'll figure it out on their own. Number 2, ask questions instead of solving. So instead of saying, you guys need to share, try asking, how do you think we can make this fair for everyone? And number 3, praise the negotiation attempt. Even if the resolution is super messy, praise the fact that they tried to work it out together. That reinforces those neural empathy pathways we talked about earlier. And finally, Section 5, protecting unstructured downtime and unscheduled time. Let's zoom back out and look at how you can actively protect this downtime and relieve the intense pressure on your teen's developing brain. Because honestly, if we don't protect it, there are real consequences. When a schedule is too packed, the stress hormone known as cortisol elevates in the brain. This chronic stress impacts the amygdala and disrupts that prefrontal cortex we talked about. This leads directly to 3 major red flags: chronic irritability, difficulty focusing on tasks, and sudden emotional outbursts. So if you're seeing these signs, it might not be a behavioral issue at all. It might literally be an overscheduled brain begging for a break. And the ultimate biological antidote to that cortisol spike? Physical, unstructured play. Activities like running, messy roughhousing, noisy indoor tinkering, or even just daydreaming on a rainy day naturally balance out those stress hormones. They trigger the release of endorphins and dopamine. These act as natural stress relievers, totally resetting the brain and allowing the nervous system to finally relax. All right, let's get practical. Here are 5 concrete rules you can start using today to ensure your teen gets the free time their empathy lab requires. Rule 1. Block real, unscheduled time on the calendar, just like you would a doctor's appointment. Protect it fiercely. Rule 2. Resist the urge to rescue boredom. Just let them sit in it until that default mode network kicks in. Rule 3. Step back from small peer conflicts to let them build that empathy muscle. Rule 4. Redefine productivity. Remind yourself that doing nothing is actually incredibly productive for their brain growth. And Rule 5. Model downtime yourself. If they see you constantly busy and stressed out, they're going to mirror that. Let them see you reading a book just for fun or just sitting out on the porch. If you take away just one thing from everything we've covered today, let it be this beautifully simple truth. Play isn't the opposite of learning. It absolutely is learning. It's the very mechanism through which the teenage brain wires itself for human connection, empathy, and lifelong resilience. I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on this week. When absolutely no one is directing them, what does your teen actually choose to do? When you finally step back, embrace the boredom, and stop playing air traffic controller with their schedule, what incredible, empathetic things will your teen's brain discover? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start making space for that unstructured downtime today.